240 yards.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your mind. Often imitated, but never duplicated. It's the Gathering of Old Men Podcast. Myself, TT, and Mullo, we're going to get into this week's event. You know what? Let's just start it right off with the smoke.
Oh, man.
I do recall. I've been saying for 6 weeks. Oh, Zach, did you stub your toe today? I think you need to stub your toe. That's what I think you need to do. It's nose by 10. It's nose by 10.
Hey, Zach coming in hot, boy.
You coming in on violence today, ain't you?
Oh, did y'all think I wasn't gonna say something?
I really figured that Alabama was great this season.
You know what? Let me get my close up. I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? Nose by 10. I told y'all.
You said bet your motherfucking eyebrows.
Bet your eyebrows. Couldn't find an Alabama podcaster for nothing in the world to bet their eyebrows. And I get it. Y'all knew what we all knew. We all knew it was nose by 10. And to be honest with you, it was going to be nose by 10, but I didn't realize Alabama was actually that trash, that they was just going to let it get that ugly. So it's, you know what? I told you. And it would have got ugly if we hadn't muffed that punt. Oh, if we hadn't muffed that punt, it would have been dastardly. To all the Alabama fans, I know why y'all don't like Gus Malzahn. Y'all really hate that man, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I understand. I completely understand. It was a. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a virtual straitjacket because we wasn't just in the press box at the Orange Blossom Classic. We was in the press box behind ESPN and behind the statistics staff. So I couldn't act up like I wanted to. But yeah, I left out the press box about 5 or 6 times. I had to. I had to. It was. I told y'all to have faith. Let me take this. If I believe, why you not believing? Why you not believing? What's going on, Tony?
You also believe in the Raiders. So you're right now about 50-50.
Hey, Marlo, I believe in the Cowboys, so I can't really say anything back.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
I believe the Florida State Alabama game went exactly how I thought it would.
I didn't think, like I said, I didn't see anything spectacular about this Alabama squad.
There was nothing spectacular about them last year, and they still recruit well. They have good players. What they don't have is a good coach. We all have had questionable feelings about Mike Norvell as a coach. But let me tell you something. The Boys is worse. However we think Mike Norvell is, the Boys is worse. This will be his last season in Tuscaloosa.
I don't know because you still got because Alabama ain't gonna pay $70 million like that.
And listen, all you Alabama fans talking about we gonna pay him month to month. I get it. Florida State, that's how we pay our coaches. I get all of it.
If the Boys is not out of town by January 1st, because they're not gonna be in the playoffs. If he's not out of there by January 1st, pitchforks and torches, they are gonna storm his house. They're gonna storm the stadium. and they're gonna be calling for blood.
Listen, and I want for everybody that's joining the podcast, welcome. As always, go to watch.fatmouthsports.net, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you got a comment. I always respond to the comments, and the people give me all the business in the comments. However, I just want to point out, Marlo is the bad guy. Stop shooting at me.
You know what?
Anyway.
I don't know.
What?
They come in here.
How the hell you say
I'm
that?
gonna tell you.
Marlo called them people felines. Called them people felines, and they got mad at me.
I just said they had a cat fight.
And they got mad at me.
Well, I didn't say anything that wasn't true.
There's gonna be a cat fight this weekend.
We gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that because it's some business I got to stand on. So I'm an attaboy my nose. I've been up and down the timeline. I ain't got to touch dance no more. Y'all know how I felt. Y'all know how I still feel. Our Ohio State people that jumped on the timeline. We got a 3-game lead in the series. What is we talking about? Stop talking about Florida State. Y'all didn't want to play Florida State no more. Let that go.
Who is this?
It's a bunch of Ohio State people that jumped on the timeline.
Yeah. So I want to say shout out to my guy over there from the Ohio podcast. I went on there the other day to talk about the upcoming matchup between Grambling and themselves. I just told him to just sit Jeremiah Smith down. He don't need to play. We already know what he's about. He don't need to play Saturday.
You said, wait, who they playing?
Grambling State.
Grambling.
Ohio State is playing Grambling. Like, what are you talking about?
No, this about the band. This ain't listen. Grambling is going to get a check. This is about the band. I need the world fame to handle business. So we ain't got no more music playing that. That's all I want.
Damn, he's in the chat. Damn, Crook is in the chat.
What's happening? Well, I don't. You know what? We're gonna get to that later. Oh wow! So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Oh, that man shooting for real.
Hold on. So I have been confused about Crook's affiliation on what school he went to?
Southern University.
I know we ain't talking about them linemen on their stomach. We're not doing that. 600 pounds of defensive tackle been on their stomach for 2 games. They was in Itabena on their stomach. We're not doing that here today. We're not doing that here today. We're gonna get to your game later because you got a monster looking at you this weekend too. That being said, like I said, all the attaboys, all of that, y'all see me on the timeline. I told y'all so. Maybe y'all should listen to me when I be talking about stuff because you could have made you some money. I was sure hoping to get some eyebrows, but it is what it is. Not for the ugly. So we cover HBCU sports, and sometimes we are in the press box. Because we was at the Ibis rented stadium, they didn't let us roam around like we normally would, so we didn't get to see E. We didn't get to see Tasha. We didn't get to see Ash because they said they wasn't going to be in the press box. So we had to do what we had to do, right? So I didn't get a chance to see everybody. So we was in the press box, and we sat through the FAMU Poconos 10,000 game. And first off, shout out to the statistics staff. They do a hell of a job. Like if you've never seen the scoring staff work a game, they do an amazing job of tracking tackles, who had penalties. Like they do all the hard work that you don't see behind the scenes. So first off, shout out to them, especially the Seminole in the building. Shout out to y'all. Y'all did an amazing job. Not to this game. Have you ever seen a person in a virtual straitjacket? Because that was me and Marlo. We couldn't cheer. We couldn't groan. We just
y'all was at work.
I voiced my dislike in a calm channel. I said, "What the fuck is that doing? Running that play?" And I had to say it like that because they said this is a working press box, so there will be no cheering.
So to be fair, I'm gonna get to my press conference, the morning call, because I know that caused a little bit of stir. But to be fair, the penalty going into the end zone, I didn't realize it was a phantom holding call. I didn't, from where I was sitting, I didn't realize it was a phantom holding call. So that phantom holding call cost us a touchdown, right? So that's one touchdown. Because remember, I said 3 touchdowns. So in the first half, you work all game to get your running back, your wide receiver wide open down the sideline, and the quarterback missed him. That's 2 touchdowns. Right? And I had in post game, I kind of said the offense seems to be out of sync. Right? It wasn't a shot at Cozy, or none of that. It just, the offense just seemed out of sync. So I brought that up. Then it was either going into halftime, it was either close to halftime or the second half. There was a wheel route that went to the end zone that was poorly thrown. Again, running back by himself. That's 3 touchdowns. Right? I'm going to give y'all some statistics. FAMU defense held Howard to 1.6 yards rushing. They held them less than 200 yards of total offense in the game. You supposed to win them games.
Defense did their job. They did yeoman's work. I big up to the defense.
I actually like what they did on defense, though. I actually like what FAMU did on defense. It was he took, like he said, he was gonna take over the defense. He got a defensive coordinator, but it's him.
So
like, he has a de facto defensive coordinator. But he's the real defensive coordinator. He took over the defensive coordinator duties, and they did a good job. You're limiting the first of all, limited the touches. Eden James. I don't know why Howard didn't run him more or put him in some sort of package where he could catch the ball out of the backfield and stuff. That was crazy to me.
Something was going on. I'm thinking he was injured, because look at his carries. Look at the number of carries he had for that game.
He had
something
5
wasn't
carries.
adding up. So, it something wasn't adding up, and the rest of the backs didn't step up. Also, for everybody that want to sit here and poo-poo Howard, look at their roster. Look where them boys from. They got a lot of boys from around here in Tampa.
They not from Texas.
They not bums.
They know where to recruit. Look, man, if you trying to improve your organization, improve your college football program, there are a lot of kids in Texas and in Florida that may not be going to the big schools, but they have the talent. A lot of it has to do with academics, and we can fix that. It's character issues that might be a problem why they're not going to the big D1 schools or the P5 schools. That doesn't mean that you can't help these young men grow into be contributing members of society. And also, they have the talent to add to your roster. So they know where to recruit at.
So since everybody boosted me up to be the bad guy on the Monday call, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to be very unpopular when I say this. All right? The only reason FAMU lost this game is because of quarterback play. I just named you 3 wide open touchdowns that plays should have been made.
So, do you think that Cozy should have switched out QBs in the second half?
So you wait. So for everybody that's listening, in the Monday morning call, he was right behind me when Cozy went off on me. So the fact that he trying to run me up underneath that bus again, it ain't finna happen.
That's what it sounds like.
I'm just gonna say this. Oh, man, I'm trying to be judicious when I say this. The man needs to work on some fundamentals, or again, remember, this is first live action play since high school. And when I came on this podcast and said, because it's a lot of FAMU people, me included, that was talking about Jet because of his JUCO play. I'm not finna sit here and act like I wasn't saying that, like I wasn't feeding the fan base red meat. But I also told y'all, Jet can make plays with his legs and his arms. And the plays that he missed are the plays that he made in high school. Look at his high school tape. Those are plays that he made. You draw them up. It looked just like his high school play. He just missed the plays, right? So the good thing is it's an out-of-conference game. The bad news is it was basically a home game in front of the home crowd. So, Crook, I saw the 220 meeting.
And let me say something about the crowd. There was 22,000 people in attendance at that game. Howard only had like 100.
And they was all.
It's not an exaggeration either.
They was all in the air conditioning. They was all in the air conditioning.
No, the hell they wasn't. That shit was terrible as an organization. You can't travel. I know Howard people that graduated from that school that's in Florida. Like if I knew my school was coming close enough for me to go to the game, I would have been there. Like that shit is terrible.
Again,
that's why they only got 3 people in their band.
Why you sound like Mr. Ford for real? Wait a minute. Don't you sound like Mr. Ford?
I'm just saying.
I want to take this time to apologize because I did take a picture of the band and then post it on Twitter. That's on me. But Emmett, you out of bounds, Emmett, you out of bounds. The North State situation is way dire. That being said, I expect improvement this week. We'll talk about this week game a little later, but I expect improvement this week. Going around the HBCU diaspora, there was also another game that was heavily anticipated, and that was Howard and Hampton.
Howard.
I'm sorry, Hampton and Hampton. Oh Jesus, Hampton and Jackson State. And
we got you dribbling like that.
No. You know, it's like I say, it was a good and bad week. Howard, goddamn it. Jackson State did what we expected them to do. I think from the coach's call, I think TC is going to want Jacobian to play better and be more balanced. But overall, 173 yards they gave up. I think most of that was on a 90-yard run. Hampton is not a slouch. Like anybody that keep thinking that Hampton is a pushover, they're not. Like I don't want to include them in there, but that Northeast group of HBCUs, they play Canada junior football and they play tough. They do their best not to make mistakes so you can take advantage. So that was going to be a tough football game, and they played tough.
Well, I will say this. Being on the sidelines that weekend on Saturday, first and foremost, I want to cuss out the weatherman who said it was going to be in the low 80s in Jackson. You fucking liar. It felt like I was back at home. Plus with humidity. So I hope you fall down in a sack of shit for giving us the wrong weather update for us. Second of all, I did say watch out for Isaiah Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
I said watch out for Isaiah Freeman. That transfer QB from Lincoln University was, I mean, he was true. He kept them in some game. He kept them in on some drives because his style of play is running. I mean, and he does have an arm. And what Coach Boykin did was switching out the QBs, kind of see what he can get. But I'm gonna go with Isaiah as your starter from now on because you have a fighter's chance to win with him than to just try to pass the ball all around. Like, you got to know what your identity of your football team is. Now, for the defending reigning national champs, Jackson State, I can tell you this. Hampton DBs pressed damn near the whole game. Press. I'm talking about you got a DB that's probably like 5'9", 5'10", going up against a guy that's 6'4", going up against another DB, probably about 5'11", going up against a guy that's 6'5", and basically putting their hands in their chest. They want to try to get off that line. Look, TP, if I'm lying, I'm flying. But first half, they kind of rattled them off, with Jacoby because of the pressing. But this opened up the slot receivers, Nate Rimbert, Janela Dupree. So you got those right there. But it also goes back to what our bread and butter is running the football. And the stable of running backs that we got, led by Ahmad Miller, with his 180 yards on 12 carries and 2 touchdowns. My man could have had 2. He could have had 3 touchdowns in the game. Could have had over 200 yards in the game if he didn't get caught by the turf monster. Also, Denario Davenport put in some time with his style of running. Talking about kids 6'2", 225 pounds, running like, looking like I'm about to say the second incarnate of Eric Dickinson, just with his running style, upright and stuff like that. Big back. Amari Matthews coming in, goal line situation. But the best thing about it is that Jacoby was able to manage the game. He was able to manage the game. The passing numbers wasn't that great. 15 to 30 for 100. I think it was like 140 something. But he did turn the ball over. He didn't throw a touchdown, but he did turn the ball over. That's the best thing about it. He managed the game. Because when you can rip off going, running the ball for over close to 300 yards in the game, that means that you have really ball control. You control the clock. So keep the other team on the field, off the field. Defensive wise, yes, and no negative plays. There was no negative plays. Defensive wise, Quincy Ivory. Let's get into it. Quincy Ivory, QB killer, number 6, Jackson State. Man had a breakout, had a coming out party, 8 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. And he earned a SWAC Defensive Player of the Week, so, and Newcomer of the Week to be exact. And then our punting and kicking, G Baby he went perfect on extra points, and Donovan Warren, our punter, basically flipped the field. averaging like 40, almost 43 yards a punt. Pinned them down inside of the 10-yard line, I think either 2 or 3 times in the game. So basically, Hampton had to kind of go and, they start from way deep in their own territory and stuff. So, and basically, it made the defense feast and famine. So, I give it to TC what he did. I give it a B-. For it, this is just me, my standard. I give it a B-, and only because we had some drop passes. The DBs, I mean not the DBs, but the receivers, outside receivers, really couldn't get past the DBs for Hampton. But other than that, like I said, we didn't turn the ball over. We didn't have any negative plays. Our rushing attack was great. Our defense was spectacular. That was this was the 14 points. The second touchdown was the first time we gave up a touchdown in the second half since in the last 3 games.
And again, for everybody that's overreacting from the week 1 games, it is week 1. Relax. And I know I'm me. I know I'm Mr. Overreactor. But it's week 1. Everybody relax. Before we go to the, we'll keep going down the slate because it was a game. It was a game that we saw the best quarterback in the SWAC play UAB. And the way their coaching is, I guess, never mind. Shut up, Troy. But UAB had a fight on their hands. And until midway through the third quarter, Alabama State had an upset on their hands. They had an actual upset in their grasp. I'm gonna say this, and it's not disrespect. It is police at somebody's house.
He came out like a second.
I was muted. I don't know what that was. I was going to say, duck and cover.
But I'm not going to lower the standard. And I think I got on No Chill podcast to say this. I'm not lowering the standard for Andrew Body. He is him. He's been him.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not lowering the standard for him. Now, what was concerning, I think Blue said that Alabama State was missing like 6 players on defense. Okay, but there's still UAB. UAB is not good. This is the first time an FBS and an FCS school, the top end talent was equal. The only difference was UAB had a little bit more depth and made a few more plays in the running game than Alabama State. Other than that, Alabama State was right there with it. Now,
I wouldn't even call it depth. I was just saying that I would say that the running game was a little bit better, and Alabama State's defense is still young. They're still learning.
This UAB squad, they are bad. They didn't recruit well. They didn't hit the transfer portal well. It was bad, right? So Alabama State had a puncher's chance. My question, which I never thought I would say this about Alabama State, but again, their defensive coordinator as at UAB. When is Alabama State's defense going to get off the bus? And we'll talk about the upcoming game. They're going to have to come with it this week. And we'll get the Crook favorite squad on this week's game a little later. The other game that was shocking was the Mississippi Valley State in the Southern game.
Yep.
Southern, you have a defensive problem that you should not have. And I didn't get a chance to get through the whole game, but I'm starting to see a reoccurring theme with that interior defensive line. Mm-hmm. And it may not just be the interior defensive line. It may be linebacker too. Y'all got a problem. And if Alabama State can run the ball and throw the ball, what should have been a very deadly Southern squad, they have early season questions that we didn't think they was going to have.
Touchdown Cowboys.
Wow. Imagine saying that early in the season. But
only because Jalen Carter got ejected already.
Oh wow.
For spitting on that.
Oh wow. Just a side note. If somebody spit on your quarterback, it's supposed to be 3-4 people get ejected. That's all I'm saying. So, but we will say this. Valley is not your granddaddy Valley. They're going to play hard. They might not have the best talent, but that talent going to play hard. And they may have found their quarterback.
Yep.
They may have found their quarterback.
I like what I saw from.
Remember when I said it's going to be about 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the SWAC that's going to surprise people? Yeah, it might be 5. But again, we'll see. I'm trying to think of any other. Somebody check on G. Alcorn lost the game to North. What is it? What is the name of the squad?
Northwestern State.
Northwestern State.
A squad that has not won a game since mid-2022.
They stormed the field They stormed the field.
Yeah. They had a 20-game losing streak. The most at FCS at the time. You got to be down bad if they storm the field on you. They win, they storm the field. Like, I think they stormed the field just because they was happy because of the simple fact they won a game for the first time in 20 tries.
Yeah. That was shocking. So, y'all check on G, give him your love. Resources play a significant role in wins and losses. So I'm gonna say this, and I don't care who get mad because I know somebody was on the timeline hollering about if my team lose, I'm not donating or going to games, all that. If your team is not winning, they need your dollars, your attendance, everything that you can possibly give to them. They need those resources more than ever. So don't give up on your squad just because they losing. But that was that. I think that was all of the major games this weekend in the SWAC. Did I miss one more? Which one did I miss? What?
Down there, H-Town.
Oh man, I did miss that. Maybe it's because I woke up and Witt and Lionel was already fighting on the timeline. How y'all wake up at 5:00 in the morning tussling? But there was the Labor Day Classic. The fact that this game should have been close, but PV had 159 yards and penalties. That meant the game was personal. And it shouldn't have been personal. It should have been business, and it should have been close. But them 159 yards and penalties kept Texas Southern in the game. And it came down to, I got in trouble on somebody else's podcast for saying this, but I'm going to say it again. If you have the opportunity to get an interception, you have to squeeze the ball and bring it in. That's it. I'm not finna pause. I'm a grown man. You have to squeeze the ball and bring it in. That's it. Pause. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. And I'm grown. I got 5 kids. I ain't got to pause nothing.
Well, we'll say it for you. Pause.
No.
So that happened. And TP, you back? I don't know. I had to mute you because you had the Bambino though, so I don't know if you're back yet. And then the game of the week in Major Football that everybody was looking for, and I say FO, everybody was looking for, was Texas and Ohio State. And we spent all summer talking about the boy who would be king. And he looked average for the first 3 quarters of the game. I don't know what to say. I didn't expect this, especially with Ohio State starting a brand new starter. I didn't expect that. TP.
All right. Some things need to be said, and they hadn't been addressed prior because of the expectations. You know, you go back and you look at Arch Manning's high school tape, and you look at the level of talent that he played against in high school. Yeah, the athleticism wasn't there. He didn't really play against top athletic programs. And I get it. They said it's the same school that Odell went to. Like, I get all that. But even that, going into playing Ohio State, the only real game experience he had was very minimum when we played Georgia. And outside of that, we beat up on 2 cupcake teams. So we didn't get to see what Arch could do or how he will respond to top-level talent on the other side of the ball. And first play of the game, he came out and skipped one to the receiver. I think that's the best way I can put it. He skipped it. He threw it in the dirt, wide open. And when I saw that, I said, oh, yeah, it's about to be a long day. But I say all that to say this. This was his first look at real talent on the other side of the ball, outside of spring ball. And the game was just moving too fast for him. He was not ready. Going back to high school and the experience that he had coming into this game, he was not ready for how fast Ohio State was about to be moving around. That's a pro level defense over there. A lot of those guys will be playing on Sundays. Both corners will be playing on Sundays. Both safeties will be playing on Sundays. 2 of the linebackers will be playing on Sundays. And he was not ready for the speed of the game. But that's not why we lost. Okay? Arch struggling is not why we lost. You can't get inside the 5-yard line twice and come away with 0 points. You just can't do it. You can't get in the red zone 3 times and come away with 0 points. There were a lot of opportunities missed. And Sarkisian, as this offensive guru who supposedly got this deep bag, did not have a deep bag inside the red zone. When we got in the red zone, they got real pedestrian. On fourth downs, we were real pedestrian. We just gonna run inside zone. And then when we got down to the 1 yard line, he tried to no huddle a QB sneak when everybody in this galaxy knew he was running QB sneak. And it got blew up just like it did in the playoffs last year. So Sarkisian, we got to take the training wheels off. When you get down there, you got to be able to dial up a play that's going to put points on the board in big games. You didn't do it against Ohio State last year. Now we get in the same situation. We're down 7 inside the 10, and we can't get in the end zone. This is as much on the players as it is the coach. Because I get it, you got to get a push. You got to, it's a QB sneak. It's me against you. Damn that. Dial up a play that's gonna work and not just risk it with a QB sneak. I think that this game showed us that our defense is ready to play football and that our quarterback is young and he's gonna have to get better. Because to live up to the hype that they've already bestowed on him, he has to go off and have a Heisman type caliber season for the rest of the year. That's the level of hype they gave him. That's the level of hype he's been living with for the last 2 seasons while he sat behind Quinn Ewers. And I think Ryan Clark made some very, very important statements. Basically saying if he was a generational talent, he would have already been on the field. Generational talents don't wait. And I get it because we saw what Quinn Ewers could do. We knew that Quinn Ewers was not getting out the pocket. There was a lot of times on zone reads where he had miles of green grass in front of him and he still hands the ball off because he's not about to use his legs. I get it. But the time is now. Arch is either gonna sink or swim. To live up to the hype, it has to be one of the greatest college football seasons he can put together for the rest of the year and get us into the playoffs. We still got some huge tests up the road. We got Florida in Gainesville. We got Georgia. We got Texas A&M at the end of it. Those are 3 big games that should be circled on the calendar. And Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I can't forget Oklahoma. We're just going to have to fight it out for the rest of the year. Defense is going to lead the way. The defense is going to defense. We shut down Jeremiah Smith again. Best receiver in the country. He played Texas. He don't get much action. And that's going to go for any number 1 receiver on any team. Malik Muhammad is one of the top 3 cornerbacks in college football. So we're going to compete on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to have to run the ball, and we're going to have Arch converting 3rd downs if we want to win, if we want to be successful. And that's all it boils down to. So I put this on Sarkisian. I can't blame this on Arch. No, he did not look generational. No, he did not look spectacular. All of these things, he did not fit that in this game. But it's a long season, and there's a lot of opportunities to grow. So I'm not going to throw in the towel yet. And I told y'all coming into the game, win, lose, or draw, this is a stepping stone. I said this leading up to the game. I believe that we have the better team. I think we should win. And what I saw on the field was I saw bad play calls and I saw bad QB play early in the game that put us in a hole. Those can be fixed. We will be all right.
So I was hoping to have Coach Jenkins on here. As soon as he come in, we'll get to his game. But before we really move off of college or move off on this week's last week's set of games, we really got to do the disrespect segment because I was not expecting to see or hear this.
The disrespect segment.
Uh-oh.
Listen, it's that time of year where former players go back to their old schools, tell their children, what the player they was and how much fun they had playing football for their alma maters and yada yada yada. In walks Tuskegee's head football coach and AD Reginald Ruffin, who said, "Don't call him about no free tickets. Buy your damn tickets. He ain't got none. Go buy them. He don't want you on the sidelines. Go buy your tickets. As a matter of fact, stop telling people you was the man you was not." Wait, hold on, wait, what? Who ran around saying they was the man on the football field, but was not? I don't know. But they will have a historic night up underneath the lights in the shade, or is that the way to say it? In the shed, ball and parlay. But what you will not do is you will not ball and parlay on Tuskegee University's dime. That's what you won't do. I don't think. What you got, Doc? Because I know you saw this. It was.
Well, what I saw with AD Ruffin, he ain't lying. I mean, if you ain't media or any type of special dignitary to come into the game, just pay your money for the ticket. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just pay your money for the ticket. I mean, of course, this is really a special occasion because it's the first ever night game at Cleve Abbott Stadium in Tuskegee, Alabama. So he wants to capitalize, because as the AD, you still, one of the things you got to do is you got to go out there and fundraise and try to make money for your athlete. You know what I'm saying? You make money for your athletic department. So what he said was simply just he meant what he said.
I call bullshit. Bullshit. These people then bled for that school. They done fundraise for that school off their own blood, sweat, and tears. And you can't let me in a game? So I can come back and encourage the kids on the sideline? That's bullshit. That is bullshit. We don't even know how much money that they done brought to the school by them being there.
I call bullshit too.
That is crazy.
I call it, and you know why? You know why I call bullshit? Because of the reasoning he gave. It's about helping out the athletic program. I wish you could see my air quotes. He said it's about helping out the athletic program if they buy their tickets. Missing an opportunity to have people that's been there understand the camaraderie that goes along with it.
Understanding the culture.
The culture, the energy that needs to be there. Do you think the Longhorns charge Matthew McConaughey to be they make him pay to be on the sideline at Longhorn games? Fuck no. He's an alum who invests in the team. And if he didn't give a dime, his presence being on that sideline is enough. He missed a golden opportunity to show that this team is more about the culture than it is about the money.
I don't listen. I don't have I'm not on either side of this. To me, this is funny, to be honest with you. The story going into this season before this event was the first night that Tuskegee is going to have a night game under the lights. That's what the story was. That is no longer the story. The story is buy your damn tickets now. That's the story.
Right. Missing the whole point. We didn't lost the whole like what are we doing? Because now he's the story and not the game.
Yeah, simply that we actually talked about that when it happened. So here's my thought on this, right? You have fans, right? And I know a lot of people. I'm gonna be transparent. I did not go to a HBCU. I went to Florida State, right across the street from FAMU. I've been to a bunch of homecomings. I spent a bunch of homecomings outside in the parking lot. Hell, I spent a bunch of homecomings now outside in the parking lot. But what I'll say is this. Fans improve your program. It's not just alumni. You are not going to get 500,000 alumni or 500,000 people graduate at one time. But what you can get is you can get an extra, and I don't know what Tuskegee's stadium capacity is, but let's say it's 15,000. You can get an extra 5,000 to 6,000 of just fans if you're inviting to them, if you are welcoming to them. Of course, you got to have security to go with that, because when you open that door, you also open the door to knuckleheads. FAMU had the same thing. Trust and believe. FAMU had the same thing. Not to this level, but they had the same thing. So you're going to open up that Pandora's box sometimes when you try to broaden the fan base. But you can't, in this day and age, you cannot not broaden the fan base. So
it's wild you saying this. I had a candid conversation with one of my coworkers this week who was also a Florida State alumni. One coworker is Florida State alumni. The other coworker went to Alabama State, but he's a big Gator fan. And of course, Florida State was like, "Man, it don't even count. You ain't even graduated from the school." And I said, "But what would college sports be without fans?" I used to live in Indiana. There are people in Indiana with Florida State gear on that have never been to the campus. Take the fans out of it and just base college sports on alumni, and what would you have?
Exactly. We're not talking about your average fan. No, average fans, unless you're media, you don't need to be on the sideline. Like, that's bottom line.
That's what I'm saying.
100% agree. You do not. Get a seat in the stands and live life.
Yeah, you buy your ticket and you sit in the stand like everybody else. But if you're media or if you're an alum, there should be a certain amount of available spots for alum to be on the sideline in a big game like this, or any game for that matter, especially if they're on the alumni board and they're donating to the school.
That's why. So that's what I was saying, TP. That's what I was saying. Like, if you ain't media, or like if you're not a dignitary, like for school, like you said, alumni, like a booster, or somebody of that stature, that nature, then yeah, you don't need to be on the sideline. You don't need just pay your, you know what I'm saying? Pay your money for your ticket. Sit in the stands like everybody else. I mean, if I was you, I wouldn't go sit under the shed, because them kids gonna be rowdy.
That's the only reason why I wanted to go. I wanted to be in the shed with the kids, because they look like they be having a ball, and apparently they parlay. So that's why I wanted to be there.
But I mean, and like you said, like simply said, just it was a shooting on campus during homecoming. That time where the kid got was deceased. At the same time, it's like you got to try to do some stuff that's different. You know what I'm saying? Because Tuskegee's campus is open. If you if you ever been on a campus, it is wide open. So my thing is
that's very reasonable, by the way. That's very reasonable.
What
people who have special privileges at the game should be vetted. That's first step. You have to be vetted.
Yeah.
Because we can't just have random people on the sideline. And the shooting took place on the campus. That doesn't necessarily have to do with stadium security. That's campus security. And I know that you think that it goes hand in hand, but we're talking about an event that has people coming in and out. And for the people that don't even go into the stadium, they're not checked by stadium security. I don't know all the details about the person that opened fire, but I know they didn't go into the stadium and come back out and start shooting.
So that stadium can sit, it really sits like close to 10,000, right? Mm-hmm. But if it's a very big game, it could blow up to 15, 20. If it's homecoming, they had as many as 30,000 people in the game.
So David, I want to address that because I posted on Twitter today. Was it today or yesterday? I can't remember. I asked the question: am I the only HBCU media guy who, when I reach out to get media credentials, I buy tickets? Because I normally have Ash with me, so I'm buying tickets and I'm asking for media credentials. And I didn't know that was an ordinary thing, I guess, until today. But if you are one of those people that the only time that you reach out to the AD is to get free tickets, the AD need to start doing how FAMU former SID used to do me and just ignore the email.
I mean, I agree. I mean, if you're not saying, hey, AD, I need some tickets, but here's a $10K check to go with it, leave these people alone. They got money they need to make for a program.
For real.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. If you a contributing member to the school, but if you ain't if you graduated or you left the school and you ain't gave a dime, ain't showed no support, and now they got a night game and you calling for a free ticket, I can understand why that would be denied. Because what have you done to help the program since leaving? Do you promote or do you do anything besides you were enrolled there at one time?
And real quick, because I see a couple comments in the comment section in the chat. So when I got out of school, every school that I was associated with or went to, whether that's FAMU, Florida State, or USF, they were open campuses. USF is no longer what you would call an open campus. It's fenced in. It looked like a jail. And I don't know how to say this. I think Edward Waters is going to be fenced in too as well, I believe. But I'm gonna say this:
Edward Waters needed to be fenced in. Edward Waters was literally behind the projects. Like, you see the projects first, then the school.
Yeah. So when it comes to FAMU, and I have a very strong love affair with FAMU. I don't want to ever see that as a closed campus. If it happened, would I understand? I would understand, but I don't want to see that happen, because whenever there's HBCUs and bars, I think of the Goody Mob line. Did you put the bars up to keep crime out, to keep our ass in? That's what I think about. That's the aesthetic that it gives when you look at it. So I understand the safety faction of it, but man, I would hope that we would get to a place where we don't have to lock up all of our HBCUs. That's all I'm saying about that. So, but let me take a look at this Dallas game because I see everybody in the chat talking about Dallas game. I'm not looking at it on purpose. They got 14 points.
Yes, sir.
Well, Jalen Carter got himself ejected before the game even started. And now the Cowboys are just pounding the ball up the middle.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I get the pause, right? I get the pause, and you talking about pounding up the middle. All right, cool.
NFL young boy out there, he making plays. Of course, CD out there making plays. Still got to work on his defense, but hey, we getting it.
So EA, to the player that left everything on the field, and I don't want to call a play out. There was a similar situation at Florida State, and two things happened. So I'm gonna give two sides. Two things happened. One, he was dismissed from the program when others were not. So his lack of connection to the program, I understood. There's another situation where another player got the program put more into him than he put into the program. And when he left, he left. We ain't heard nothing from him again until certain games popped up. And he got denied. Some programs, I'm not saying all, some programs, when you're a former player, they make sure you okay. They make sure you straight. If you ain't straight, you have people reaching out to you. Because if you lead a program and you ain't straight, it is a reflection on the school and the program, right? But if the program is trying to reach out to you to figure out if you're okay and you not doing nothing, and granted, people have health issues and all of that. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about people who are okay. If the program is reaching out to you, make sure you're straight and you not responding at all. And I'm not talking about like 3 or 4 years. I'm talking about a decade and a half. And then you just pop up. No, you can't call about no tickets. No, that's a slap in the face. And y'all know how I feel about AD ski masks.
And I want to go back to something real quick because I was in the field just a second ago when somebody said Elton Waters is right by the projects. I grew up in the same neighborhood as Elton Waters, and we didn't see it as being the project. I just want to go on the record saying that.
No, Marlo. Now, like you have to remember, I lived in Jacksonville like a year and a half ago. That area, like right next to Elwood Waters, not like
Oh,
next. So yeah,
yeah,
back in the
it's
day, it was
Kings,
nice.
it's Kings Road. Well, I wouldn't necessarily categorize it as nice. It was a lower middle class area, like yeah, but
But now
everybody owned their
the
home.
YNs have completely taken that area over.
Man,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's rough over there now, man.
damn, that's crazy.
But you know what?
But no disrespect though, and my bad if it came out like that.
No, I'm just messing with you because I grew up on Kings Road, well, right down the street. So
Well,
yeah.
we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Like, you gonna have to see a therapist about this Florida State thing, bro. Cause
wait a minute. No, we not. You know what, TP? We not finna do this. You know why we not finna do this? Because there's some dude on this podcast whose squad lost to Bethune-Cookman 10 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. And we still have a winning record against Bethune. We could have lost to Bethune 20 years in a row and still would have a winning record against Bethune-Cookman. We still 30.
Ask him his feelings 3 years ago when they lost to Bethune.
Oh, I don't care if we were playing.
No, don't do that. State. No. What was your attitude after y'all lost to BC 3 years ago?
Oh, I was definitely not happy. I don't know nobody who root for a team and they lose and you be happy.
But you gonna degrade me in my outrage.
There has never at any point I said, and I quote, I hope my head coach get hit by a Nerf bus. I'm not finna march the 100 down the street in front of his house, hoping I wake him up and disturb his rest enough that he would want to move and leave Tallahassee. I have never been that angry at any coach staff of my at my alma mater. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is our dislikes of events are different. I will come out and say, I think, fam, you're going to win it all every year, whether they go out and win it all or not. You come out and say, oh, I hope they lose every game. If we don't put up 100 points against Duquesne, then they should be. What?
No. I'm very clear. I support the players 100%.
Yeah, but
I cannot support bad management. I cannot support a bad athletic department. I cannot support a guy whose very resume says, after year 3, I get worse. His resume says this. This ain't something you got to go look up. Check Arizona State. Check Memphis. Year 3, oh, he get worse. Guess what year we in?
Again.
So even if I have unrealistic expectations of him scoring 58 points, they cannot. And by the way, this new media, I gotta be bombastic. But anything other than a prolific offensive showing, come on, man. We can't be in no shootout with Duquesne. We can't be struggling to score against Duquesne. That is no way to improve as a team. But I got plenty of time to say how I want the coach to get hit by a Nerf bus, all of that, whatever. I mean, like TP, if Texas lose to Oklahoma, how you feel? Wait, what I'm talking about? Y'all have some years now.
I'm about to lead a meeting. Where the lead meeting button at? All right, this has gone long enough.
I just want to say thank you to Mike Norville for giving me the best weekend of my life. The I told you so's. I think my Twitter fingers got tired from the I told you so. So I would just like to take this moment to apologize. But it ain't over. Keep it up. So, but I got somebody background. Real quick before we get back to college football, I just want to say, Amari Cooper has retired from the NFL a couple weeks after he signed with the Raiders. After the Raiders cut the kid from the quarterback from, was it South Dakota State or no from the Salukis. Cut the kid from the Salukis. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Speaking of Nerf buses, hope he get hit by a couple on his way out of Vegas. That being said, y'all got anything before we get to this these slates of games this week?
Talking about Dan Mullen, or you talking about are you talking about your head coach of the Raiders?
No, the Raiders just, you sign. First off, we spent a 6th-round draft pick on a project. Then we cut him to pick up Amari Cooper. And then he retires. Like, somebody got to answer for that. This, come on, man. But again, we should be New England this weekend. I don't care what the pundits say. We better beat the Powerball is $2 billion. Understand that. The Powerball is $2 billion. If God so bless me to win them $2 billion, the first thing the Raiders gonna do is we're gonna have to get rid of Thomas Patrick. That's the first thing. First thing that's gotta go. Oh wow. So, but I got plenty of time to talk about how I want to get a job in security and have his car towed every day. Got plenty of time for that. Plenty of time for that. So on the major slate of games, you know what? I forgot to give Tennessee their attaboys because we did not think that Josh Heupel had his quarterback, but apparently Josh Heupel got his quarterback, so he got to get an attaboy. Hey, Tiger Nation, look. All I'm saying is, if God so bless me, I'm gonna make sure the wife get $200 million so she can go do whatever she want to do. Because me and Marlo going to Bass Pro Shop, and I don't want to hear nothing. Then we're going to Tallahassee to set up some NIL collectives. You know, get bank exchange some money. You know, good stuff.
I ain't gonna tell you, if I say what I'm gonna do, if I win $2 billion, it's gonna be illegal.
Yeah.
Look, I'm paying to get somebody beat up, a couple people beat up every time they foot cross the threshold of their house, just jumping.
I want to ask. I do.
No, don't ask.
I just.
Don't ask. Don't ask. Because I'm gonna be compelled to tell. Don't do it.
All right, so there's that. But yeah, Tennessee apparently is going to be just fine without Nico. So congrats to Josh Heupel, because the people was talking crazy. Trying to make sure we got any other. I know this is a check weekend, but God, why you winning me the Powerball? Can you have South Carolina State beat South Carolina? As long as they keep calling themselves USC, they should lose every game. Oh, and
haven't they been calling themselves that for a long time now?
Yeah, that's because Southern Cal College, they just joined themselves to call it SC.
Yeah, I call them SC. If you say USC to me, I automatically think of Southern California.
So, but FIU playing Penn State. Can Willie pull off an upset? I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. That is going to be on ESPN Plus. Trying to make sure we talked about Grambling State game against Ohio State. And that's pretty much it. Nothing. That school in Daytona is playing the Ibis people, and
they taking a school bus or they walking?
I don't know. I just want it to be a 9 overtime tie, and the NCAA say we got to go because the bus driver is running out of drive time. That's all I want. So, but should we? We ain't really talk about the MEAC. Should we start with the MEAC slate this week?
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Let's go.
So
let's talk about Black Canada Jr.
All right. So first up, Townsend is playing Morgan State, right? And that's supposed to be the rivalry. Can Morgan State play better than Norfolk State? That's the question. That is the question.
I haven't seen Morgan State play this year, but Townsend looked pretty good. But that's also hard to say because they were playing Norfolk State and they looked horrible.
Yep. I'll get to that Virginia State, Norfolk State game in a minute. Central is playing Old Dominion. Old Dominion right now is sitting at 0-1. Do we think Central can get back to winning against Old Dominion?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Central in that one. For the upset.
Okay. I don't know. I want to pick Central. I want them to be, play better.
It shouldn't be in the closet.
So we got TP. So I don't know. I'll take Central for the upset, but for me, this is just a pick 'em. Temple and Howard. Temple, obviously.
Temple, probably by 20.
Yeah.
The University of Albany and Delaware State. Both of them are winless.
I'm gonna go with Dale State.
I'm with you on that one. Dale State for the.
I like what I saw. I like the fact that they got Marquise Gillis on the team as the running back. Hard nose. You talk about kids 6 foot, 215, run between the tackles, got speed to the outside. Caden Bennett. If he didn't throw those 2 interceptions in the game last week, that game would have been closer than what people would have thought against Delaware.
I said I think Delaware might be better than Norfolk State. I think Delaware might be better than Norfolk State, and I think this MEAC ain't what y'all think it is. But we got plenty of time to get to that. Now, is this game called Big State versus Little State? Virginia State versus Norfolk State?
It's battle for the Bay.
No, Battle of the Bay is Hampton.
No, yes. We talking about fucking Virginia. Never mind.
I thought for some reason this was Big State versus Little State, but whatever.
Yeah, I think Virginia State call it Big State versus Little State because Virginia State is Big State.
Okay. Listen, for everybody that hyped up Mike Vick, for everybody that thought MEAC Mike was going to walk into the MEAC and just win the conference, it's game 2, and you already must win. This is a must win.
You think it's the must win already?
Yeah.
For as bad as that last game looked, yeah.
Who they playing this week?
Virginia State, D2 school.
You said Virginia Tech D2 school.
Virginia State.
I mean, it sounds like a winnable game. See, here's my when you look at the games that you got to play, right? You got to win the winnable games. You know what I mean? The games that you should win are the ones that we're gonna critique the most. Because if you go against like very good teams or powerhouses or whatever, and you lose, it don't hit the same as if you lose to a team that you have no business losing to. But again, we're still early in the season. Must win.
I'm gonna say this: when it comes to Virginia State, they done had multi-state numbers in the last couple of years, especially last year.
Yeah, and this ain't he got to win this for his job. This is that last game looked bad. You need a market improvement from the last game to this game. That's all I'm saying. It was not. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. So, and I know it's an HBCU, and I know what some people said. Otto Coombs is your starting quarterback. Period. The cupboard is bare. You ain't got nobody else. I know Otto been in school, 10 years? But Otto is your starting quarterback.
Well, I ain't gonna say Otto been in school for 10 years. I'll say he been in school for 4.5. Unlike some QB that been at 10 different schools.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Stats.
I feel strange being excited about that.
So, it's gonna be an interesting slate. Again, the MEAC doesn't really get into the teeth of their schedule until late October, so they're just still figuring out who they are. I guess that's one of the benefits of only having 6 schools, because you got some room to work.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. If Otto Coombs starts, they probably can score 3 touchdowns in this game. I don't know much more about that because they offense looked bad. It just looked real bad. It looks disjointed, out of sync. It was bad. So we'll see. Getting over to the SWAC slate. We got a bunch of money games right on top. I'll start with the least winnable to the winnable, right? That school in Daytona, Bethune-Cookman, is taking on the University of Miami. And again, like I said, the disrespect to put that up during the podcast. You know what? I'm a better person. I'm gonna be a better person.
You see that? You're gonna see Michael Irvin on the sideline twerking again with them dreads.
So, if Bethune, you just got to get out healthy. Point blank, period. That is what it is. Mississippi Valley and Tarleton State. I know I said we was going to go from unwinnable to winnable. This should be a unwinnable game for Valley. But I think those young men play hard.
I don't know. Valley got a coach and a coaching staff now. They might pull it off.
Boy, Dak just almost made the first mistake of the game.
I just watched that too.
That ball was super late.
Valley does have a dynamic quarterback that can run and throw it. So it's gonna make it interesting. It's gonna make it interesting. So we're gonna see.
We're talking about Tarleton State because they just beat Army in 2 overtimes over the weekend.
I'm being hopeful.
Me too.
I'm being hopeful. Texas Southern is playing Cal after a tough loss to Prairie View. Get your check, get out healthy.
Yeah, just go across the game and go get to San Francisco.
Ohio State is playing Grambling. Listen, Ohio State.
Banned by 40.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to put an end to this playing neck. Somebody got to draw a line in the sand. Nah, Tone Death Valley is already playing it like they're HBCU. Stop letting them people come over to Southern thinking they family. They ain't. Stop letting them people play neck. That's my little diatribe. Now the other two games. The other two games are more winnable than a lot of people think. Actually, Southern Miss and Jackson State, right? I want to say get out healthy.
Nah, I'm going Jackson State.
But if you
I'm going
could
Jackson
strike a
State with
blow,
that one.
I'm gonna just go J State just because. I mean, they the favorites to win the conference, right?
Yeah.
They were the preseason favorite. So until a team shows that they are better than them, I mean, I gotta go with them.
So Southern Miss is in what, the Conference USA or the American?
No, Southern Miss is in they in
the AAC.
They in Conference USA.
Okay, so they in Conference USA.
Sunbelt.
Oh, they're in Sunbelt. Okay, so they probably will win the Sunbelt because all they did was just transfer a conference championship coach.
I don't think they can win the Sun Belt not from the Raging Cajuns. I don't think they would.
Well, let's see what Jackson State do. If Jackson State can pull this off, that'll be major. Now, here's a game that I watched the highlight clips to their previous game, FAU, and I watched the whole game. First off, I know I'm getting into heaven because I watched FAU and Maryland play 2 hours and some change of football.
That freshman crap out of them.
I know I'm getting to heaven. FAU is trying to play Texas Tech football without Texas Tech players and without a Texas Tech quarterback.
It depends on the quarterback play.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
And I'm leaving it at that.
I'm not going to feed the fan base no more red meat because I already got told by myself on the coach's call. So I ain't going to do that no more.
Nah, how about I got told by the coach's call by Mr. Jackson, Mr. Atlanta. As you getting your first Division I win, like, dude, nigga, it's a Division I win. You've been in Division II most of the whole career. You got a SWAC win and a Division I win all in the same night. Be happy about
it. That being said, this game will be closer than what a lot of people. Listen, EA, I hear you. But I was taught to have the faith of a mustard seed. And if I did not look at that game, defensively, fam, you got top end talent equal, if not better, than FAU. It comes down to depth. Offensively, Coach ain't gonna never talk to me no more. We have to get better play from the quarterback.
I just said that. It's gonna come down to the quarterback play, and I'm leaving it at that. I am not crashing out. I left that game alone. But if RJ step out there with that bullshit like he had in Miami, it's gonna be a long night.
So, but you know, there it is. Emmett, here's the problem. How do you know that? See, this is why I made sure at the beginning of the podcast, I told you every wide open running receiver that should have scored a touchdown that did get hit in that game on purpose. You can't tell me. And it's my fault because I let Zach say that the receiving core isn't that good this year. That's a lie. I saw that receiving core get open. So if I'm seeing the receiving core get open and I'm seeing missed passes or receivers not getting targeted because they weren't seen and they were wide open, I looked at FAU quarterback throw into double coverage and what should have been an interception. The corner was laying on the ground and he got an interception, but they call it back for pass interference on away from the play. FAMU is not as bad as everybody trying to make them be.
I mean, with FAU though, I don't like their chances against FAU.
If all I'm gonna say is this, and if it's important because we said the same thing about Florida State. If the top end talent can hold serve through the fourth quarter, you got a puncher's chance because FAU threw 6 interceptions in that game, and it should have been 8. So there's a chance. There's a chance. And I see all you rattlers, y'all trying to get me in trouble. I already got boosted up before. I ain't finna get in trouble no more. I'm gonna chill out. I've made enough trouble this week. Emmett, I've never bet with my heart. I'm